Hey guys, welcome to the Starting Million Show. I'm your host, Ashral. Welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time you are. Thanks for taking the time to come and watch the show. So today I'm very, again, as usual, I'm always very excited because I'm always very happy to have a guest that's joining me today. And today is very interesting because for the first time ever, I have a professional pole dancer who is coming onto the show. Who I got to know her when I was doing my overseas business, and from there we managed to stay in touch, we stay connected, and she's a very inspiring individual to me. We have a very interesting history back then. So if we have some time, we might get into that. I have no idea. So so hey Jimmy, welcome. Howdy to you, Jimmy. Thank you for joining in the show. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. So yeah, so very interestingly, for my next guest, okay, my next guest, I keep saying my next guest, my guest for today, right? She actually started her business, what she's doing, her pole dancing business in 2008, and just 1 year later, I think just probably about 1 year later, right? She was featured on National Day, Singapore National Day. That's like an amazing feat to me, just to think about. Like the people, how many people can she start something and then just like, oh, well, a year or two later, it's like you are on the national stage. So to me, that is mind blowing. And today I have the privilege to invite her into the show. So it's very interesting today. So I'm actually going to be asking her a few questions. I'm going to ask her how she got started. I'm going to ask her about her experiences today and how it's compared to back then. And perhaps some very basic questions I will ask about the whole art of pole dancing. Okay, I know nothing about pole dancing. Okay, so it's a very interesting thing, and perhaps a lot more questions. So if you have questions, feel free to join in this chat. It's a little bit of fun, just like how Jimmy Juggler has joined in. Howdy! If you got any questions, feel free to join in the show. Let's make this a whole lot of fun. Okay, without further ado, let's get the show rolling.
You cut me loose and set me free. You cut me loose. You make me win in every way. Win in every way. You show me how to spread my wings. Yes, I'm the winner of the day. You cut me loose and set me free. You make me win in every way.
So for my guest, we're talking to Ming, better known as Singapore's Suzie Wong. She's known to be one of Singapore's smaller breeds of Singaporeans, right? Who ditched her safe corporate job, which is being a banker of one of Singapore's big four, 27 years ago, right? And to explore her dream to be a singer and entertainer and eventually a pole dancer. Now, this might sound a little racy, but the truth is she owns Singapore's longest surviving pole dance studio and is the first to incorporate pole dancing to dinner events, the first to open an aerial art school, and to hone local aerialists and convert them to performers. She has many firsts, and today we find out how she was the first pole dancer to perform on Singapore's National Day. So, without further ado, I'd like to invite to the stage Suzie!
Woohoo! Hello.
Woo! Hey!
Hi,
Wow, so Jimmy
Asha.
says you're a legend. Wow, we're already big fans, really.
He's always so kind.
Ah,
Oh, yay!
and
And
big.
is here too.
Right. So
She's
lots of
actually-
fans.
She's actually on MRT now.
Okay. So she's the MRT. Okay. So Suzie, thank you so much for taking the time to come on for this show. And I know it's been a very interesting period of time, I would say, since this whole COVID started, a lot of changes happening around. So I really appreciate you taking the time to be here.
Hi, Jimmy.
Thank you so much for coming.
Jimmy is the
Hey,
best.
Jimmy. He is, right? So Jimmy's doing a lot of things at the same time, which is why he's a juggler.
Next time we must have a new term. Instead of multitasking, it's multi-juggling. Yay!
Yes. Yeah, it's like juggling is not it's a skill that I'm still trying to do it well, but I'm dropping balls all over the place. Okay, that did not sound right.
It's
That
okay.
was not intentional.
You're talking to a pole dancer, so yeah, things like that
Okay.
will happen.
All right. So let's get started. I think, okay, Suzie, one of the very coolest things, I think, maybe we just get people to know a little bit about you, right? So I'm very curious. Like you talked a little bit about how you got started in the very beginning. You were first as a corporate banker, then you came to do singer entertainment after you eventually became a pole dancer. But what got you started doing pole dancing professionally? I'm very curious about this.
Wow, so after a few years in corporate
Hey,
job,
Yongin, sorry, just to cut you. They just want to say
oh
hello to
yeah, that's
Yongin
okay.
over
So
there.
yes, hello. Those people who come in, please, say hello. It will give us a lot of boost and motivation.
Yeah.
yeah, a lot more fun that way. So anyway, yeah, back to my question. So when I was working in a corporate job, I mean, I did well, you know. For 4 years in the bank, I was promoted actually 3 times, but something in me just didn't feel quite right, you know. So I explored some stuff which is singing, some entertainment, and well, since your question is how I get into pole dancing, so as an entertainer, I always try to just incorporate new things into my performances. So I started as a singer. So after many years later, um, wasn't quite satisfied with what I was doing. So I wanted to incorporate something new. So I tried a few things, okay, before pole dancing. And finally, when I landed in pole dancing, actually more like an exercise, I was like, hey, this thing I can incorporate into my shows. And then I trained a little bit more. And within half a year of practicing and really struggling with inverts, I made my own. I mean, not like I make, like, I mean, I get carpenters to make my first pole, portable pole, before anyone else kind of have a portable pole. I fabricated one that can go into events. It was way heavy. It required 4 burly men to lift it onto a stage, set up and lift it off. But we did it anyway, okay? And people kind of loved it. But you know, Singaporeans being Singaporeans, you have to pretend that they don't like it. So it's hard to actually market. But yet there were people who you know, were spreading the word. So from there we get more and more shows, and then my prop was getting lighter and lighter, like more and more efficient to set up, until what we have right now, the commercial ones, which in Singapore I think I have the most as well. So I'm really, really, you know, really die hard lah, really die hard pole dancer, you know. So everything about pole up till now, that has been 16 years. My studio is 13 years. I'm still very passionate about this whole thing. So yeah, that probably will give you an idea how we actually got into National Day. But before that, the history is that, yeah, I'm actually literally the first one in Singapore that so passionate about bringing it this point. That back then I was working in an events company. I shared with my boss. I said, hey, I want to do this, and he's like, no lah, I'm not going to support you, you know. And I paid for my own prop just to prove a point. And now,
Wow.
16 years later, I'm still performing, except for that pandemic kind of stop it. Just before pandemic lockdown, the last show that we were performing was a pole dance show. Yeah.
Okay, very interesting. So this whole very interesting. We'll talk a little bit about it because actually, no, I want to. You actually mentioned about the National Day, right? Okay, actually, I do want to explain. I want you to share. You know, what is it like being the first group of pole dancers on Singapore's National Day? But very interesting enough, back in 2009, right? This was actually just a little bit after SARS, you know, our last pandemic. So it was very, when I was doing research, I was like, hey, interesting. It was just after that. So yeah, explain to me, how is it like? How is it like?
To be in the National Day?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay. So I mean, I honestly can't recall that it was actually after SARS, but SARS was also another killer. But it was not as bad as now. We only stopped performing for 6 months and we were back on track. But anyway, to talk about National Day. So actually, I only started the studio in 2008. And in 2009, we were very fortunate that the person who actually designed, because every year they have like a main person to take care of all the performance item, who designed that year's National Day, is somebody who's very trendy. Okay, if I may mention, he's actually Ivan Heng, and he's the Wild Rice guy. So he's a little bit more on the edgy and very adventurous, which I have a lot of gratitude towards. So he kind of, someone pitched it to him. I think one of his like person who was in theatre, who actually was learning from me, so pitched it to him, and he liked the idea. So he got us in, but we actually faced with a lot of challenges. Thankfully, we have his support, and also the second man in the entire National Day. His name was Desmond, some major or whatever, that was very supportive, but everyone else was so against the idea. So the first man, which I probably, if I'm not allowed, I will not give the name. Okay, he's right now one of the MP. Okay. He was so against it after a lot of parents wrote in and say that why do we have pole dancers in National Day? That got the whole thing just so messy, and so many times we were threatened to be removed from National Day, which is super unfair because there were 10 of us. Actually, the pole dancers was 8, but I put in 2 reserves. We had multiple rehearsals. We have multiple what do you call that? There's like a collective one where the rehearsals were as good as live show. That means the students were actually coming, taking turn to come and watch, right? There's a name for it, but I can't remember now. Starts with C. And so we already have done multiple spending endless nights and days training. And then every time we were faced with, I think we should cancel this item. Every time we faced with a parental objection, these parents don't even watch it. It's the kids who go and say, hey, got pole dancer. Very frustrating, but thankfully we pulled through. We managed. We keep changing our routine to a point we look literally like just Power Rangers. We're not even sexy or anything. Our moves are like boom, boom, boom. So mechanical and so robotic already. Like nothing can go wrong. The girls who were dancing next to us were wearing less than us. Hello, like come on. But it was all in all, we really enjoyed the whole experience of it. It was very, very fun. But just that it was so jaded with the whole, oh, we should remove this item. No. Then someone allowed us to change the moves and put us back. So ding dong. Finally, on the day when we performed, we realized that we went on, but they were only given 3 seconds of airtime on TV. All our parents and family were so excited. They all glued themselves on the TV waiting for us. And then we got text like, huh, you only appeared 3 seconds. Why? Because some top guy up there was damn scared lah. You know, like you say, balls drop lah. I think that happened to him also lah. So, okay, all in, we were all very broken-hearted. We were disappointed, but we still, I gotta say, this thing sort of bonded my performance together. We had a good time. We can actually vouch for the fact that we were like, the first people who performed for a national event. Now there's no longer shame already. I mean, it has appeared in many more national events. But I must say again, just like how I brought pole dancing into corporate event, I'm also the first one to have paved the way for pole dancing to be in national events. So I hope all the pole dancers out there, please have gratitude. Don't go behind me and stab me and say that I'm, this and that. There are a lot of bitching around in this industry, sad to say. But yeah, you only have me to thank, and I'm not shameful about it right now. Okay, thank you.
Awesome, Susie. Actually, I think I really do think that's amazing that you did that, because being the one to pave the way, it's always very hard. So yeah, like Jamie said, yeah, it's only 3 seconds. Some people, I want my 5 minutes of fame, 15 minutes. She got 3. It's got 3 seconds for the whole country. And I will say it's interesting because like back then 2009, is because pole dancing is still seen as very risque, very sexualized, right? So
Yep.
there's a lot of parents, like you say accurately, they're very concerned. What if it will poison our young minds? What if it? I did. In fact, when I thought about it, because that was when I think I was quarter century years old. I was 25 years old, I remember. So I remember the article. So I was like, oh wow, okay, very interesting to see that there's this performance going to happen, and then afterwards to know that it's only for 3 seconds, I'll be like, yeah, 3 seconds. It's no one has won in a sense, right? So it's like you put in so much effort, you have got so much restrictions and limitations of the things you cannot do. Then showcase 3, you got to change your clothes or whatever to make it less risque, right? So yeah, so Jimmy says hit the backstabbers with the pole. So yeah, so we could actually, pole dancing is Susie is very strong. She can do more than just hit the pole hit, and she just needs to swing and whack, they fly. So so okay, so Susie, I have a question. So when it comes to this, right, because pole dancing has it's kind of, it started as acrobatics, right? Like I think I think if I don't remember, like in China and some other places, like it did have the roots over there, but afterwards it became a bit more sexualized. So what are the challenges that you regularly face? Even from back then to now, what are the challenges you face as a representative of this sport here in Singapore?
Okay, so just to not correct, but just to add on a little bit, when you talk about the one from China, it's actually, I don't even know whether it's China, but that interestingly, there is a pole dance form from India that's called Malakamba, and also there's one often in circus that's called Chinese pole. But apparently it didn't start from China, but it's called Chinese pole. That's very, acrobatic and stuff like that. But if you're talking about my kind of pole dancing, actually, no, you're not wrong to say that it really has started from a very sensualized kind of way. So I don't blame people for having that mindset, because my kind of pole dancing is not from the China pole, it's not from the Malakamba. Only after a while we kind of incorporate and have fusions. So my kind of pole dancing, if you talk back by history, and this would probably be interesting to many people, how it started, and I literally read this and it's probably quite true, is from war-torn days where um like people who go out for war and in the ships and warships, and when they come back and dock and have their
Oh, oh,
okay.
oh, you got a call, is it?
Yes. Oh my God, this guy is so annoying. One of my
Welcome to live, guys. This is the live show. So yeah,
oh
you're
my
saying, you're
God,
saying?
wait, he's still asking me busy. Hello, wait Hey, I'm live now lah. I know you like me lah. Now go
So I
Facebook and see and watch instead of talking to
So I
me.
think this is one of the interesting things, because when it comes to the challenges you face, being one of the things, you definitely get a lot of people who are interested to find out more about you,
Oh yeah.
more about what you do. Yeah, for sure. So this is proof. It's proof. It's happening.
Busy? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Sorry. So talking. Okay. So when the men are docked, okay, they actually throw a bunch of dancers on board, and they actually hold on to structures and pole dance, and that's how actually pole dancing evolved. So the men find it very appealing for women be hanging on to structures, right? So this thing got into clubs. So clubs had now poles with dancers. And after a while, the dancers got bored, just gyrating, and they start doing stunts. So
Mm.
literally, if you're talking about 20 years ago, I was in a community with a lot of retired pole dancers who came out to teach pole dancing either in a club or a small little studio, and with all these tricks, and that's really how it started. And because I personally know, last time got this thing called forum, right? I mean, the era now,
Mhm.
no more forum already. Yeah. So I actually met a lot of these sorry, not expired, sorry, retired. Oops, I hope they don't retired pole dancers. Actually, a lot of them are strippers, yeah. But nothing wrong with that. It's just a job, right? So they're all very muscly. And because in order to get rid of that mindset, they actually did things that are just super acrobatic in nature. And I was in that era where pole is like not supposed to be sexy. It's just gonna be acrobatic. And we just do stunts and tricks and we challenge ourselves. That's why up to now I'm like, one of the stronger ones and the more muscly one. Because I was in that era. But it has gone now one big cycle. Now I look at all the girls just want to be sexy and gyratey because they don't really want to spend so much hard work in going up the pole. I'm not saying all, but a big as the sport grew, that it's going backwards now. So interestingly, like how we all started and to try to ditch that mindset, that impression. Now it's going one cycle back where girls want to purposely peel off their clothes, wear heels that are 7 inch. You notice that now, only now I'm getting into the heels thing. I didn't before because I'm in that era and that community where like no, pole is supposed to be acrobatic in nature.
Okay. Well, interesting.
Yeah.
I like
So
that.
now you know the
Yeah.
real history about it. Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I do. Thank you for sharing. And like Jimmy was saying earlier, you are in demand. And then Tim Hua is saying you're the best pole dance teacher in Singapore. Like a chair. Steady. You got big fans. You got a lot of good fans over here supporting you.
Hi Tim, sorry I can't fulfill your dates tonight. I'm in this
So
program now.
awesome. Yeah. So she's with me now. She's with me now.
I'm all yours. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So I have her all the time. So she's done to many good. Wow. Thank you so much, Tim. Appreciate you from the sharing. Appreciate you. So yeah. Okay. Because you mentioned something very interesting earlier. Back then, when you start to do when you learn from all these people, right? All the the not expired but
Forum.
the retired forum, all these different people. Okay. Okay.
That
I'm not
was
gonna
an
say the
honest mistake.
yeah. So okay, when that happened, the retired dancers.
Pole
Okay,
dancers,
now
yeah.
how did you learn pole dancing? Is like, for example, can you actually learn pole dancing at home? Do you not need like literally a pole dance at home and the kind you customize the kind of thing? So can you learn it at home by yourself?
Actually, by now, a lot of us have poles at home. And so that back then, when I first started, there were literally only 5 videos on YouTube. Now there are 5 million That's how it has grown. 5, it was very hard. I was searching through whole YouTube and try to find people to teach me, and a bit difficult. So the forum was a very tight community where we ask each other's question, where should our hands go? So yes, if you really ask me, if you are diligent enough, you can actually learn, but very dangerous. Like you can fall off and there's nobody who's spot. Actually, this pandemic is also cool in a way. A lot of us have gone back into online learning. So again, you see things have just gone one cycle. The universe is very interesting, just like fashion, you know. So it's have gone one cycle back, and then when I ask the people who sell poles, which is namely Expo, they say their business is now very good because everybody installs a pole at home and learn. But like I said, you probably won't learn it the proper way, the best way. But well, still an outlet for that gyms and studios that are closed. So yeah, those days the forum was very tight knit, and I have this girl very cute because she couldn't afford a pole. She was in a forum, so she will demonstrate by hanging on to the door, at ledge, and then like show you, okay, your legs should go here. Then she lift up her legs. It is a very very fun community, and we're so friendly back then. But then like as all forum, after a while got politics.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
I was in.
All people, they'll have politics.
Yeah, this little girl from a little red dot was actually labeled one of the most determined polar. I was given a title in that forum. That's how determined, because I really asked until I get the moves.
Power. I think it's so interesting. Like you literally learn through text how to grip, how to do this. Through forums it's amazing, because it's like videos back then, for especially when it comes to something like that, I think they might be taken on even faster, right? Because it's a very young age you do back then. Wow.
Yeah.
So okay, so can learn that from pole dancing at home. Just be careful with the door hinges support in case
No
the
lah,
door's
buy
like,
a pole. Buy a pole, get a proper good teacher with good instructions. Nowadays, if you look at my instructional pole, I don't usually propose doing that, but now I have to. When I'm hanging upside down, I'm still delivering my instructions, and you, as a good teacher, you have to be able to do that, talk upside down. Yeah.
Wow, solid. I think if I were to talk upside down, something else will come out. It won't be words. It won't be words. Something else is coming
You probably
out.
all blood rush to your face already. Yeah.
Yes. 我被红人小红 the whole face become flushed red, like I'm drunk like that. Okay. So pole dancing. Okay, also you mentioned something very interesting. Pole dancing, because of this pandemic, right? This pandemic right now, it's seriously is affected. I think everybody's affected, but currently for your business itself, it's seriously affected because of. So how are you currently dealing with it though? You mentioned a little bit earlier, but how are you dealing with it?
Well, there's not much that we can do except to bring some of the courses online, but it's not very effective. Like I said, only some people have got poles at home, and even those people who have poles at home, their house might be too small, the ceiling might be too low. So we try to change stuff into like conditioning, making yourself stronger. So I gotta say that during our CB Circuit Breaker 1, which is last year, it was more effective because everybody suddenly have this shock, like, oh my God, I can't go to this, I can't go to that. So all they did, and can't travel, all they did was just keep going online to keep the connection, okay, engage each other. Because honestly, if you're talking about core conditioning, hello, there are millions of stuff that are free online. They don't need to come to yours. Of course, we do some paid stuff just to help us to pay a bit of our expenses, and some free stuff just to have more people coming in. But all in all, it's just a waiting this period out while still trying to stay positive and fit. There's not much we can do now, and hopefully government hears this, help us a little bit more with finances. Otherwise, it's just who is the strongest survive. Yeah.
Who has the deepest pockets. And I think also you tried also going on to other social medias to showcase, right? I think
and also I showcased my other talents. I was singing live stream as well, but nothing beats being there and doing basically this pandemic is just very hurtful to business like mine, both ways, in terms of entertainment and fitness. I think the only people who thrive are people who sell things online, essentials, and healthcare, and digital stuff.
Okay, understand. So that's true. So but okay, so for someone who is interested to learn pole dancing, okay, someone, what will be the benefits? Also, by the way, before that, okay, guys, if you're watching this, you have any questions, as I'm having a chat with the beautiful Suzie Wong, all right, please feel free to ask that question. Just feel free to ask because we're having a conversation. I have my questions ready to ask. If you have any questions, feel free to pop them in. I think Suzie will be very happy to engage as well. So, oh, just nice. Okay, Jimmy has this question. So, can still teach one-on-one at some location, not in studio, but someplace else should be okay, right?
Like playground. Because basically in the studio, we are not supposed to provide apparatus. So even pole dancing, when they mention 2 mask up, they still can't touch the pole. So it has to be like low intensive stuff, which we kind of just scrap it, forget it. No, what's the point of having just 2 students mask up when we can probably have 5 or 10 on Zoom when they can't touch the pole? So we have really just reduced to online. So otherwise, if we're talking about going to one-on-one at some location, then I can only think of playground. Then, but you have to
Yeah, because
sanitize
playground has
that.
that pole.
You
Got to
sanitize
sanitize.
that.
You don't know who has been on it. Yeah, you don't know, have no idea. Especially like especially when you're doing all the exercises, you're using a lot of parts of your body, so you
Yeah.
want to sanitize it. You really want to sanitize it.
Yes. Thanks
Okay,
for the
so
question, Jimmy. Thank you.
yeah, thanks for the question, Jimmy. Appreciate you. So in this case, okay, what are the benefits, right? What benefits are there for pole dancing as a beginner? As a beginner, like let's say I want to learn, what would you how would you sell it to me? If let's say I'm completely new to pole dancing, how would you sell it?
Wow, this one takes another 1 hour because I'm so passionate about this. There's multiple benefits. Okay, but just to cut the long story short, okay, it is an amazing workout if you do not want to go to the gym. Okay, or so it is a very good alternative because literally by lifting your own body weight, you are working lot of muscle groups from the big ones to even the minute one, but maybe not as a beginner. So a lot of people will say that, oh, I'm not flexible, I'm not strong. How do I? Are you there? How
Yeah, I'm
can I
still here.
dis-
I'm still here.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
still here. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, how do I start? But like I said, it's in every sport. You don't have to be fit and strong and flexible because then it's no longer a workout or a sport. You have to pick up from somewhere, right? So if you're neither of those, you can still do the sport, except that it'll be harder. So let's take, for example, if you're a rock climber or a gymnastics, you could do any sport, would be easy, what, right? So we're not selling this to a person who already has the ability, is to someone without. Then how do we start? Of course, naturally there'll be like warm-ups and conditioning. And we will usually start off with spins because spins will only require a bit of the upper body and the arms. And you have to go through at least 8 to 10 spins to work this part. And I can almost assure and promise you, by the time you finish your spins, your upper body strength will already have it. In fact, now these days, people are learning much faster than during my time. They because they have some kind of background, right? So by the time you finish this set of spins, you already can activate your other muscles to start climbing. So when you do climbing, you are already working out your lower part of the body or the mid, and it just keeps adding on. So by the time you do inversion, and our joints, every part of our joint is utilized for a different move and a different pose. So like I said, it's amazing because it's a total package. And by the time you finish all this move, you want to add on dancing into it. You don't want to just be able to execute this move or that move. You want to put it into a routine. And that's where your cardio comes in. That's why now, freaking 16 years later, I'm still so passionate because I've never a day stopped challenged by what I see on IG. Someone else next day come out with a new combo, a new trick, and you're always chasing after them. So it's amazing. I really love it. I think in 20 years' time, I think that you ask if I can still do it, I will be doing it still.
Okay, interesting that you say that. Did you just call me Teddy or someone or different name? I'm just wondering.
Oh,
The
who?
different name. Okay, it's okay. Never mind.
Oh,
I
no,
thought it was
not me,
something
not
else.
me. Yeah.
Okay. So, all right. So, when it comes to the pole dancing itself, right? Okay, you also mentioned inversion. So, is there any benefits from staying inverted? I don't know. Just random question.
Oh, that's a very good question, actually. Definitely there will be. Because why? Okay, I personally not a yogi, but why does area yoga and yogi always go upside down and om, right? There must be certain benefits. Okay, but if you really ask me, my suspicion is your motor skills. Okay, your motor skills will actually get challenged. And why do I say that? Because I used to have one student who claims that when she was young, she was mildly, if I'm not wrong, autistic, diagnosed with some kind of ADHD or whatever. And one of the therapy was to swing her and go upside down. So if a therapy requires that, I am sure it will actually stimulate certain kind of your neurons. And yeah, which is why I think personally I find it so therapeutic after a session of pole. I could have the worst days and the most stressful, traumatic time, and after doing a pole session, I'm like, it's like almost equivalent to me eating cake lah. You know, cake is the other thing that really drives me crazy. So I think it's the same. You know, it runs this stimulant, some kind of hormones, oxytocin, whatever sin.
Mhm.
And it's therapeutic in that nature. So if you ask me, yes, I definitely think that there's some benefits, except that I don't have a medical explanation. I should read up. Thank you for that.
Hey, no problem. I was just wondering because I think when it comes
Good
to
one,
hanging upside
wonder.
down, yeah, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's some of the interesting things that if you see it happening, and also okay, then I have another question, but I think it's a little bit more basic. It's a little bit more basic when it comes to because when it comes to someone who wants to try to do pole dancing, right?
Mm-hmm.
What should a person wear? You see, in terms of the like, because it was very sexualized back then. Okay, so that's how it came about. So people have think you got to be very sexualized, whatever. But I have no idea. I have completely no idea. So what should a person do to dress the part, right? So is there such thing as like pole dancing shoes? Is that pole dancing clothes? Pole dance? I have no idea. So can you just share with me about this? I have no idea.
So first and foremost, as people always think that pole dancing is very sexy because yes, you see a multiple of girls wearing very tiny clothes, top and shorts. And our reason, I would say reason, some are excuses, that because a lot of our body parts need to adhere, stick to the pole in order for you not to slip yourself down. Because we're literally using every part of our body to grip onto the pole, and only bare skin and metal will be friendly. So clothes will be very
Mm.
unfriendly. But that said, okay, I'm very embarrassed to say that the champions of a lot of pole dancing competition are guys who are fully clothed. So what happened, right? It's like you can still be
Mm.
fully clothed and actually still doing. But of course, they are stronger lah. So I'm saying that, okay, as a start, yes, even for us, we advocate to students. And you see, their shorts, when they first come, wow, very big running shorts. And as the time goes by, they find tinier and tinier because you do really need more parts of the body. That is only true, only like because we may not have a certain level of strength to just use our brute strength, our muscle grip. So you really need to have that friction. So I'm not saying there's something that anything is right or wrong, but just that if I were to say that, somebody even may challenge me and post me a video of some guy wearing, shirt. Some of them peel it off, but I've actually seen some people who are really fully clothed and still do. Yes, there is one kind of pole that's called silicone pole where, silicone. So you can still
Mhm.
do with the clothes. Chinese pole are actually silicone mounted or wrapped, so you can still stick. But the one that I'm talking about, okay, but actually his name is Alberto. Somebody I really and there are a few more, and all the Russians, the male especially, they can be fully clothed. Some of the females also, they wear pants, they can still grip because they are so strong. So I don't want to say that no, you need to be, have a lot of skin that I hear, because I don't want people to challenge me and say, hey, that what happens to this. I'm just saying that if you do not have that amount of skill and strength, then yes, you need tiny clothes. But otherwise, I would say that anything can. And for
Mm.
heels, it's actually part of stylized styling. Now there is even actually in parts of the world there are big competition that are specially designed and for exotic pole only. So exotic pole, one of the requirement is that 7-8 inch high super
Wow.
heels, yeah, for as part of the styling. So again, this is part of the thing that my era will not want. But now, like I say, it's gone one cycle where these stripper heels, they are literally called that, I don't know why, that are being introduced back, and they're huge now because they have actually dedicated pole dance competition just for exotic pole. And guys do it
Mm.
too, and they're very good. Guys do it too. Yep.
Wow, I'm very impressed that guys can, because whenever I do see any of the guys who do it, the ones who scream the loudest is the ladies, right? They see a guy there and just swinging themselves around, and it requires a heck a lot of skill, heck a lot of training, heck a lot of muscle to do it, and it's not easy at all for to do that. And I think it was very interesting to learn. This is something I didn't know, is that as they go by, the clothes become lesser, not because of sensuality, but because of necessity. Is needed at the start to be able to get a better grip. Then afterwards, because as the skill level increases and for performance sake, they actually start to wear more clothes. They add a little bit more, like what you call stripper shoes,
Yep.
stripper heels, right? Stripper heels.
Yeah,
So
stripper
these are
heels.
very interesting that you mentioned that. That's something new to me as well. Something new that I learned. So thanks for sharing that. So another question I have. Okay, I have a whole bunch. These are different questions that I have, but we're pretty coming close to the end. Okay, so very easy because I want to ask all these questions. It's for me. Okay, it's for me. Okay. So one question. This one is something I'm very impressed with. I'm very impressed with. Okay, because when we first met, right? Okay, when we first met, okay, it was I think you kind of know. It was a very interesting story that we had. A very interesting story that we had. So okay, I don't think I prepped you for this lah. I also didn't know why I said this, but I guess since I already said it, I think I just explain a little bit. So what happened was that we met over in China. Then afterwards, I had my own apartment in China. Very interesting enough, right? It's just like I didn't know Susie, but a friend of hers said, you know what? She's coming over a friend. I was like, Asher, do you have a place to stay? Do you have a places in the area? I was like, yeah, sure, just go ahead and use it. So I was just like, just go ahead and stick around and stay there. Then afterwards, and she stayed there. I don't think I only welcomed her in. If I don't remember wrongly, Susie, if I only welcomed you in, you just settle yourself in a room. I went out, and by the time when I come back, right, I got locked out in my own house. So,
No, we never met. We were just texting. So that yeah, okay,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
here already. Yeah, we never met. So I don't know how you look. Yeah, and then when I yeah, so I locked him out, and
Okay.
I don't know what happened. Then what happened the whole night? Then you were texting.
Yeah. So it was very interesting because then afterwards I was locked out of my place. Then I was like, hey, because in China it's a little bit different. The China, the doors, if you lock it from inside, you can't get in even from the outside. So even I got the key, I couldn't get in. So I was like knocking on the door. Hey, anybody home? Can you help me open the door? I was like, there's no one responding. So I was like, wow. Then I have no choice. I have to go find somewhere else to sleep. Then after the next morning, then I think Susie saw a message. She was like, oh sorry, I mean Susie, you were apologetic lah, but I was like, it's okay, it's fine. But it was a story that it will stick with me for life lah. I was like, I was like, let you my place, then you lock me out of my home.
不打不相识. This is that kind of literally like.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a very interesting scenario. So that's how afterwards we had a little bit of discussion. Then afterwards, I think also because you were having discussion, you were also exercising. Interesting enough, the apartment that I had, right, had a pole. Did it have a pole?
Yeah, I fixed it.
No,
one.
that was a different. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Correct. You fixed it. Okay. So so when I came here, I was like,
Go
wow.
along, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, wow, okay. So I was quite impressed that happened there. Then after I was like, wow, so Susie, you were already in the gear to exercise, to work out already. And I have not
Back, I was
met
done. I was done. Yeah. When you came back, I was
Yes.
done in my skimpy little clothes. So can you imagine? I locked him out. Didn't know how he looked. He didn't know how I look. We were just chatting, and I was apologetic. And when he finally appeared, I was like, oh, okay, he's quite a young guy. I have the impression he's this old man because you know that at least I won't feel so bad. He probably thinks that I look like a Cao auntie that's so stupid who locked him out. And then when we met, we're like, oh, okay, quite surprised. And it wasn't very comfortable because I just finished my training, putting a pole in his apartment, and I was sitting at the dining table, not feeling uncomfortable because I'm always like that, and had my tattoos all showing, and oh, hello, hi, so you're Asher, okay, I'm sorry about last night. And we ended up sitting there chatting for like few hours.
Yes, indeed.
And
It
then
is
only
indeed.
after
And
that, I realized I was actually all the time very naked.
you were clothed. You were clothed. You were just
Yes, but very, very small pole clothes.
Yeah. So that was the interesting story that happened. So
Okay, so what's your question actually?
Yes. So the question I had right was that because I one thing I noticed is I'm a very observant guy. You had abs. You had like rock solid abs. Okay, that was very impressive because the abs I have are well hidden between, well protected between layers of meat. Okay, so they are like that. I have abs. They're just well protected with fat. Okay, so
Just
they
like a
will
lot
take
of
a
people, yes.
just like a lot of people. Yes. So the question I have, right, is for people who are trying to do learn pole dancing, especially even for maybe even for some of the ladies, right? How does pole dancing affect your body? You know, does it make you bulky? Does it make you as for some of the ladies who are interested, does it make them bulky? Oh, by the way, are you trying to plug in your earpiece? I just want to check. If you are, go ahead. I was just
Okay.
wondering.
So yeah, because
Yeah,
the,
yeah,
the,
yeah.
the battery was a little low, so I actually changed it.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
plug this back.
So it happens. So this is live. We want to make sure that we're all charged up and ready to roll. Yeah. So
Okay, so how does it change the body?
mm,
That's the question, right?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so like I said, pole is almost very equivalent to working out in a gym. Maybe like a CrossFit or carrying weights, because most of the time you're lifting your own 50 kg or whatever, going upside down, and not just one time. It's repetitive. So it is a form of workout, but how your body responds to it is not nothing to do with pole or anything. It's your body type. So you can see actually girls will have the same body change if they go to a gym to work out, lift weights. Of course, not like the extreme type, like you're going for maybe for a show or competition. But if you're talking about just a normal going to the gym workout versus one that's in a pole dance studio, your body reacts in a similar way. So a lot of people look at me, they're very scared. Oh, I don't want to have muscles. Hello, it's not the pole that you have muscles, it's my body type, which I believe I'm a, what are the few types? Meso, I forgot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I also can't
Uh,
remember the meso and don't know other O lah.
Yes, yes, yes. So I am that type that actually builds muscles, and it is proven already even when I was young, just doing netball. So I'm very stocky. I've got big quads, and because in netball, so basically when I do netball, yeah, my quads and were very defined because you were running a lot and all sprinting. So when now I do pole, my all these are coming up, and I love it, so it's okay. But I know girls who don't, but you won't look like me. You look like what your body type would be. And you can see some girls who have been doing for ages and still don't really have a definition. But again, I'm not saying that you look exactly like you pre workout, because then that would be taboo. You will basically just be transformed to the body type that you're supposed to have. You can lean down, you can look really nice. So if you're that kind of 很有线条的, you'll probably get the best version of that kind after doing
Mm.
pole and watching your diet. Yeah, so diet plays a big part as well. So if I every day eat unhealthy and do pole, I probably look like someone who has gone for um, bodybuilding competition, and 20 years later, and never do anything to the body, like big and yet just pile up that kind of stuff. Yeah.
You just gave me a visual in my head, like shish kebab, just like a stick and then there's meat on it. It's, it just gave me that visual.
Yeah, so and a lot of people won't believe it that I probably have more fat genes, because it's proven in my family. Everyone is quite chubby. And when I tell them that, oh, I have to avoid this, avoid that, like, are you sure you work out so much? No, I will put on quite easily. So but at the same time, I don't eat super healthy. I love food. Okay, I'm very easily bribed by food, by for your information. So just have to be careful. I mean, I still want to enjoy my life. So yeah, but I do have to probably work out a little bit more than other people to have the same metabolic rate. But I would
Mm,
definitely build up muscles, are also easier than a lot of girls. But thankfully, I
right,
like that. Hmm.
right, right. So I think the term you're looking for while you're speaking, I was just going to check, right? It's called
Okay.
meso, endo, and ecto.
Yes, yes. So I think I'm the meso. Yeah.
Okay, okay. So
Mm.
when you work out those things that your body type was supposed to, or rather your body type will just become more pronounced, right? Is that what you're
Easier
trying to
to
say?
build muscles. I think the other one is easier to build mass, and then the other type is that totally cannot build one. You just look like the same and very lean. I'm definitely not the
Hmm.
very lean type. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, okay. So that's why I was curious because when we met, that was I did notice that. I think even for the visual that I let me just put up this visual again. right? I'm pointing to your gut. I'm just like I'm kind of pointing to your gut there as well. So definitely one of the most impressive thing is definitely the gut. So Jimmy is saying this. So posture will improve with pole dancing. I think that's certain. Is that true? What do you think?
Yes and no, because again, if you think that a lot of ballerina is supposed to have the best posture, but you'll be very surprised. A lot of ballerina hunch the back and walk with the duck feet. So it's a matter of consciousness. I would say improves your consciousness, improve your desire. You're more conscious, but ultimately, how you behave is another thing when you're off
Hmm.
out of the studio.
Hmm. Okay. Okay.
But
So
but yeah,
posture.
I that's a good question. Good statement as well.
Thanks, Jimmy, for that question. For that
Wow, Jimmy, very
statement.
good.
Yes.
He's staying
Yeah.
throughout. Yeah.
Thank you, Jimmy, all the way through. So if so for those who are still watching, right, all 4,000 of you, right. So for those who are still watching, okay, feel free to engage, or feel free to ask any questions. Because right now I'm just having some fun together with Susie, and I think we wanted to make this conversation as interactive as possible. I ask you, I'm going like questions really quickly because one thing, the phone doesn't last as long when it comes to having a live show like this. So we got to go quick, 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 quick. And also because Susie is okay. Susie, one thing I want to ask you when it comes to doing pole, doing exercising stuff, right? One another thing that's very impressive is that to me, I always kind of see you doing a lot of running as well. You run all the time. You're doing exercising all the time. Uh, did that all this stem from a lifestyle change because of pole? How did pole change you from before as a banker, as as who you were into this? And the pole has been a consistent, but how has your life kind of changed from back then to now?
I definitely in my 20s and 30s, I was not a fit person. I mean, I probably have the good basic when I was back in school because as somebody who's very competitive, I never want to lose out in PE. So those days I was as a fit little girl. But when I started working in a corporate and then started pursuing my singing, just super unfit. And and when like I said, I wanted to incorporate something new into my performance, and then pole came about. Then I saw my teacher. Wow, she's so good, and I'm so heavy, so terrible. So I wanted to just keep getting better. Oh, okay. The minute I can go up on inverts and stuff like that, then I kept injuring myself. Yeah, my joints are not strong enough. My elbows. Then something is wrong because I want to do harder things, but my body was not able to support it, and that's where I go more and more in depth into things like conditioning. And basically, jogging is just to make myself more niftier and also increase my stamina so that I can train longer. It also started off because when I had a knee surgery, it was actually part of rehabilitation, but I realized there's a lot of benefits. So it's actually yeah, like how should I say? It's like marrying all these things that I like to make myself better, ultimately still at pole and whatever like
Mm,
areas and all the stuff. So it is a lifestyle change definitely to make my interest last longer
mm.
and be able to
Okay.
do
Do you
this for a
think you'll
longer
be
time.
how long do you think you'll be doing pole dancing?
Well, if my body doesn't, give way, because ultimately that it is still uh extreme sport. It is still
Mm,
because we are now starting to go for flips. If you see, thumb and things that are very acrobatic in nature, and I have to be super careful because I'm not young. So if my body can last and I want to just really do until the day I cannot do, yeah.
mm.
So if you're talking about 10, 20 years from now, yeah, I want to be able to maybe just slow down, scale down. I still want to be able to. I never want to look at it as I have to stop at any point. Touch wood lah. Hopefully, God protects all my joints and my muscles and my ligaments.
You will. And I think you're currently 53, am I right? Yeah,
Yes.
so at 53, I don't think there's a lot of 53 people who can even do a half or even a quarter of what you're doing. Some of them have the struggle to get out of bed, and you can, hold by your hands on the pole and just like, even when you're running, I remember seeing a video where you're running, it's like after you just hang on the pole and people walking by, what's this? What's happening? So it's
Those
impressive
are my
to see.
my TikTok. My TikTok. Go to my TikTok and see a lot of this kind of running halfway, go to the pole, invert, do a human flag.
Yeah, it's impressive. I human flag like, oh my gosh, the only flag I can do is you put a flag on the bed, it's flat. That's the only flag I can do. I cannot do like the other way. You are very strong, Susie. You see.
Was what your interest is. You excel in other things, which I can't.
True.
So
I'm
have to
very
do.
good at it. I've been doing for 34 years of lying flat. So 30, yes, 37 years. 37 years of doing that. So I have a lot of experience there. I can start up a course teaching you how to lie flat like so okay, Susie, we have a few more questions I want to ask you. So
Okay.
this question I want to ask you, okay, this is something that I kind of ask everybody as well, right? So what would you say to a new pole dancer who could possibly start impacting a million people? Why do I say a million people? Is because in over our span of our lifetime, all right, it's not hard to imagine that you could impact about 1,000 people, right? It's not hard to
Mm-hmm.
imagine over the course of your life you impact 1,000 people. And then if we think about it that way, they can also impact another 1,000 people. So
Mm-hmm.
1,000 times 1,000, you could be impacting a million people in your lifetime. So for someone like you who has already impacted or rather shared your story, you've paved the way with the being the first person in Singapore to show a national day and a lot of things that you've done that many people may have even forgotten.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say to someone who is starting out pole dancing who could possibly have the kind of impact that you've done?
Well, I'll say go for it, but please stay grounded. Because if you think you're the best, there's always someone better than you next day. So yeah, go for it because for the cause of it, but don't get big headed. And already I see a lot of people being like that. So yeah, stay grounded. That's
Mm.
you'll never be the best.
Right. Okay. So I'm a bit curious as to onto that statement itself because stay grounded. What's happening that you see that people are not being grounded? I'm curious there.
Um, Not being grounded.
Mm.
Very. I mean, okay, like they find that they think that they have arrived. They they exude a certain attitude. Like I probably too, but I'm always reminding myself that what I'm showing out there in my social media, yes, I would like you to learn from me, but I'm always still learning. I'm not the best, but I can teach you to a certain level. There are some people who very overtly put it out there, like I'm good. I've arrived. I'm there. I mean, you
Mm.
can smell the attitude one.
So they buy the perfume attitudes. Okay, so
Pole attitude.
yeah, pole attitude, right? So then if some people have polar extremes, okay, never mind. That's too many puns already. So
I used to have a lot of pole fashioner. That's my website. Like
mhm,
progress, pole faction, or overdose.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. I think you
Yeah.
have a but yeah, professional.com.sg. So if you want to check out, definitely head over there. So all right. So thanks for sharing that. So before we end, right, we're coming close to the hour. So if is there any parting words before we end, and how can people reach you? Like yeah, how can people reach you?
Well, I'll say that if I always meet a lot of girls who tell me, "Oh, yeah, pole dancer. I've always wanted to try it." Yeah, don't procrastinate. Okay, now especially the pandemic, everything present now. Okay, don't wait. So if you like trying, try. We have trial classes. Once the studio starts open, look at our website, give it a try, and we never hard sell. If you like it, you come. Don't like it, never mind. We don't want to bruise your beautiful skin because there will be
Mm.
quite a lot of that if you're not strong enough. But if you can endure it, they're just victory scars, okay? And they're just um, trophies for you to collect.
Mm.
So, yep, life is not going to be very long for you to keep wanting something. So, go for it. And you never know, you might be the next one that Asher will be interviewing you.
Oh, thanks for throwing that. I think also very interesting that I've been to your studio, so it's a very nice intimate location as well. So it's not like a very I know it's a very intimate location. It allows
Yeah.
you to actually check on different angles. So yeah, okay. So if anybody who wants to find out more, okay, definitely head over to professional.com.sg. All right, head over there. Or you can check out over her Instagram over there, Acro Pilates, right? So
Mm-hmm.
so Pilates, was there a play on Pilates and just add the
Oh,
word pole in there?
yes. So Pilates is a play on the word Pilates. And very funny, I want to put the word acro in front. Firstly, of course, to show the acrobatic aspect of it. And also because back then, a lot of the directories are by alphabet. So if P then very low, then put acro at least come to the top. Smart, right?
Smart.
And professional was funny because if you remember those days where there was those talent show, there was a guy called William Hung. He's called She Bang, She Bang. Then when the judges were all like like laughing, he said, I'm not a professional. That's like that word professional stuck in my head. And then when I wanted to register my company, I actually registered the website first. I said, I put professional. So thanks to William Hung, although he's not a pole dancer, but he actually articulated in that way.
Interesting you mentioned him because this coming weekend I'll be involved in an event as one of the guest speaker and he's also going to be there. So very
Really?
interesting.
William Hung?
Yes.
Oh my
William
God.
Hung. He's moved on to doing business related stuff actually.
Serious. I think the young people will not know him, but I think those in our your
In our
bracket
era.
and mine.
Yes.
Although I'm way, oh my God, William Hung, so amazing.
Yeah,
Okay, say hi. Tell him
definitely.
he inspired my website. Huh? My
If I have,
website name.
if I have a chance to get through him while he's all being crowded by people, I definitely will. So head over to polefashional.com.sg
SG.
and Yongyan is saying, Suzie, hope to watch your pole dancing one day. I've watched the China pole dancing, very interesting. It's a very good form of exercises. Thanks for your sharing. Thank you, Yongyan.
Thank you. There's lots of
Okay,
it on
so
my
you-
Instagram, so yeah, do watch. I mean, my personal Instagram is Suzie Ming, so yeah, there's a lot of materials over there. I'm training like almost every day. Yeah.
Okay, very cool. So Suzie is putting out a whole bunch of content. So okay, so about your business itself, right? So can you just tell us a little bit more about your business and how? Well, I mean, I can put people Richard as a repeat, but when it comes to be about your business, it's not just pole, isn't it? There's also
Yeah.
more stuff as a business. Can you share us a little bit more about that?
Yes. So from pole, we actually evolve and also incorporated area arts. Okay, what is area arts? Like area silks, area those things that you see with the fabric coming down from the ceiling. And again, I'm the first one to have brought these crafts into Singapore, not the world, but in Singapore. And I'm also the first one to explore putting these performances on corporate events. So it was very difficult in the beginning because nobody knew about rigging. They only know it for lights and sound, but to hang a human was another level. So I actually put in a lot of hard work into the studying of that. And besides National Day, we were the one who performed for Garden's fifth anniversary, and we hung our aerialist from the super trees that's 20 meters high. So I have done a
Wow.
lot of firsts, but I see the thing is stay grounded. I know I could be very braggy. A lot of people say, hey, this is a fantastic portfolio for you. You should blah. But I mean, people don't know lie. It's okay. Because to me, ultimately, it's the experience and the knowledge that I gain from it. And if people know it, then so good. Because if they find me, I know exactly what to do. I know how to guide them and make it happen. But you find someone who have never gone through my experience, they need to pay money to get someone to do it. I mean, of course, we still need to pay money for professional riggers to measure the tonnage and what is the weight loading, what is the brake loading. See, I actually gone through all these stuff. So yes, that's another area of my business. So we have two gyms that actually teach that. That's called that's under Gymcraft. Okay, so but mainly why my studio, which you interestingly mentioned, that is very cozy, because I've had the same studio for 13 years. A lot of studios are way bigger than mine. That's because my passion is really honing for my students and talent scouting them into turning them to become semi or professional performers in pole and area arts. And we were actually, before the COVID, we were the most sought after performers in this area. We literally had 16 shows cancelled in February 2020 after 11, which was the last show. Up till now, there's nothing that's been resumed, but it's okay. We did a couple of online stuff and things, but it's kind of different. But we were actually going out to a lot of events, providing these entertainment for our clients instead of them having to fly in aerialists from UK, from Australia. They didn't need to do that. We have our own pool and team.
That's very inspiring for you to bring in these things and not just that the technical side of the difficulties, the safety measures, and you know how to make it entertaining because it's just like it's you sing, you dance, you entertain, you swing, there's you fly. What else is there that you cannot do? I really, and then also recently also I think you were experimenting with drumming also, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like true blue entertainer. You're a true blue entertainer from really all the way. And I think it's a good reason why you didn't do banking. So banking, you can't do any of this. If you banking, you fly. That's not a good thing. So you don't want to fly in banking.
But the
Yeah,
bank
very,
actually
very-
was a very good stepping stone because up to now I'm still friends with all the top management because they actually know that I do this, right? So they actually get me back to sing lah, perform and all that stuff. That a lot of them are still my good friends. So yeah, I've never regretted that path also.
Awesome. Super cool. Okay, thank you, Susie, for your time. Once more, guys, if you have if you want to check her out, what the heck? If you want to find out more about her business,
Can.
you can check her out.
Because
Susie is single and available. Yes. You know, people are like messaging her, while we're live, right? So she's single, she's available.
very eligible.
Very eligible. Okay. So
Okay.
maybe if I ask you the day question about what kind of person you're looking for, I don't know whether you want to answer that now.
Let's have another interview on that one.
Part two coming soon. Part two coming soon. Yeah, all right. So for now, we will have thank you, Susie, for your time, and hopefully we can see you another time. All right, Susie.
The honor is my pleasure. Thank you very much, Asher, and thank you those people who tune in, and especially Jimmy who has stayed trust with us. He's the best. And yes,
Okay,
Asher
thank
is
you.
amazing. Thank you. All right,
Thank
signing
you.
out.
All right. Bye. Okay, guys, this is for the show. I really appreciate you for watching, and I really appreciate my guest Susie, who actually took so much time to come over to share her expertise, and it's very exciting to learn about her history, her experiences back then and to now, and of course, more things that's coming. So, but if you haven't done so yet, do me a favor and follow me at It's Asher Ao on Facebook and YouTube. So I do have shows like this every week. I have more guests coming up. So do feel free to follow me. I'm a new guy. I'm starting things out, but I like to connect with different people. Do me a favor. Follow me on it's Asher Ao. Okay, I need to make sure I know what I'm saying. Now, if you are watching this and you want to be a guest on the Starting Million Show, comment #guest and give me a message so that I will reach out over to you as well. So if you're interested to be a guest on the show, hit me up. And finally, if you want to learn how to present, connect, and sell on live video like a pro, okay, comment live pro, #live pro, and I'll reach out over to you to teach you the strategies and secrets on how you can also come on live like this and start to present and sell your offer to different people. Like I've done, I'm doing training for a whole bunch of different people. So there's a whole bunch of stuff. There's so much secrets coming over here. So I'm very excited. But once more, that's all I have to say for now, guys, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.